What's up, guys? It's Eventon here. So, one of my courtmates actually hit me up on Discord, letting me know that there's new Galnet skins coming to EVE Online. Honestly, I just knew it was a matter of time because I know the CCP Twitch channel has had a ton of extra viewership ever since they introduced those Galnet skins. Gosh, probably over 2 years ago at this point. And they've had those Galnet skins, and I've actually been saving up points for a little over a year now because I knew it was only a matter of time. I knew CCP wasn't just going to do those 10 or 12 skins that they've had for a super long time. So if you're actually right now, I'm on the CC server because right now it's just on the test server. If you type in Galnet, there's a whole bunch of new skins that they've actually added. It shows the old ones too, like the Anathema and the Brutix and all that stuff. But if you just go to the market, I'm actually here in Jita. It'll show each one here, and the ones that are grayed out are the ones that aren't in the game yet, obviously. So like I said, the Dominix is like the old one that we have right now. But I've actually been saving up quite a few points on the CCP Twitch channel because I knew this was going to happen eventually. I'm just going to go through each one very briefly, just in case you guys just don't care to go on the CC server if you guys don't have access, or if you guys have had issues before like I have had for a long time. So one of the first skins is actually going to be the Caracol, which is a very new bro friendly ship. This is probably one of the better screeners in the game, obviously for new bros. This looks really awesome. I don't think there's any other pink skins that the Caracol has, and actually looking at this, there is a lot of skins for the Caracol. Holy moly. Okay, so this one looks pretty similar, but I really always like the Galnet skins because it has that really cool like white and pink like play button. I really love the aesthetic, so that is the Caracol. And the next one on the list is the Excurer. I always have issues pronouncing that one. This one looks pretty cool as well. As you can see, there's like the play button. I love the fade from like pink to white. So this is kind of what the aesthetic looks like. Like I said, I'm just going to be going through each of these one by one super quickly because like I said, I know not all of you guys have access or really care to go on the CC server to check this stuff out. And so actually, we actually have one for the Gnosis, which is interesting because obviously that doesn't belong to any of the empires. It's just one of those like special edition ships that we only get from the Capsuleer days that happens once a year. So that's usually the best time to stock up on these ships, including the Praxis and things like that. I think these are the Sisters of Conscious Thought ships, which are technically, I believe they're Jovian ships. So this is a really cool one. And then the Heretic. I've been meaning to honestly fly some more Heretic or some more armor ships in general. I feel like when it comes to bubblers, I typically just use the Saber and Flycatcher, but I do want to use some of the armor ones like the Heretic a bit more frequently. This one actually does look pretty cool, and it's, I believe, on all of the Galnet skins. It's kind of hard to see, but there's kind of like this aura around it. It's very subtle, but if you zoom in closely, you will be able to see that. It's kind of like a pink, almost like a little bit of purple coming off, it seems like. Then the Hulk. So the last time, I think it's the Scope Syndicate skins. We have one for the Procure, but this time we actually got one for the Hulk. Hulk is probably the most used exhumer, I would assume, and it's probably attached to, you know, it's right next to those war calls and all that stuff. So it's nice that they actually have this for the Hulk. Probably going to see quite a few of these being used or at least redeemed, because people that are mining are going to be in this a lot of the times, even though it's probably on one of their 3 monitors and one of their 8 small screens with the Hulks on them. But this does look really cool. Kind of wish there was a little bit more pink though. It seems like a lot of white, which is fine for me. And then we have the Jackdaw, which is probably one of my favorite T3Ds in the game. It's probably the one I use the most, followed by the Hecate. But like I said, I do want to kind of start flying some of the more armor-based ships. I've been pretty much sticking to shield, but I do fly the armor ones quite a bit. This one looks all right. I actually do have the Heart Surge skin, which I do like a little bit better. But again, looking at this one, like again, the play button and the little aura around it does look really nice. I wish you could change the tactical mode so you can actually see what it looks like when the parts are kind of like spread out, or when it's in defense mode. I also wish when you look at some of these skins in this mode, or like I'm looking at right now when you view it, I really wish you can like pitch the camera left and right, because it seems to be just stuck on a singular point inside the ship, and you can only spin around that, so you can't look at it from a different angle or even turn the ship to kind of get different lighting angles. Because sometimes if you want a particular shot, I usually do this for like my thumbnails and things like that, it kind of stinks that I can't get like different angles on the ship. So And then we have the Munin. This ship was obviously changed pretty recently, and I say recently meaning like a few months ago. This used to be obviously a very arty heavy type ship. Now it's like more focused on missiles. Also, it has a bonus to armor and shield reps, I believe, which kind of makes it one of the first, I think the first, like dual tank ships where like you can fit it with shield or armor, and it still gets a bonus for either one. It doesn't matter how you fit it. So very cool looking ship. I actually really like this one. I really like how it's actually, I didn't notice here too, but it says CCP TV. I didn't know that. It's actually really cool on this. I figured the other ships have this little tag too on the side that says CCP TV, but maybe I just didn't notice that till right now. All right, we have the Myrmidon, so it's not the Myrmidon Navy, which is like one of the newer ships we got. So yeah, you can actually see here, it's very subtle, but it says CCP TV on it as well. Kind of like these like vertical ships, because it actually has the play button on both sides, which is quite nice. Though it does seem like there's not a whole lot of pink. It would have been nice to see this kind of detail at the bottom kind of be followed all the way up to the top, but I think it looks fine as is. Don't fly the Myrmidon too much. It's a little bit too slow. Not the biggest fan. I used to love drone boats back in the day because I used to do a lot of PvE. I do way less than I used to. It's mostly PvP now, and I only do wormhole PvE sites when I absolutely have to, or when I'm really bored. Then I kind of get those knocked out. Yeah, Myrmidon doesn't look too bad. Rattlesnake. Now this is the one I think will easily be the most expensive out of all of the Galnet skins. So when you do redeem it, consider yourself lucky if you do get the Rattlesnake. And yeah, this one will be definitely the most expensive. So if you get it and you don't want it, you could obviously sell it, I think, for quite a bit. Now, I don't know if this is just the CC server, but you guys see these like weird particle effects kind of coming off. It almost looks like little white diamonds or like triangles coming out of the side. So I'm not sure if that's actually part of the ship. It seems like too subtle for it to be. I feel like that is just like a visual glitch that doesn't seem to actually be part of the ship. If it is, that's awesome, but even then it's still a little bit too subtle. Like if that was supposed to be a particle effect, I kind of wish it happened a bit more often rather than once every like 5 seconds or so. Obviously on the bigger ships, those like that aura effect is much larger. There's the play button at the top. I'm trying to see where it says CCP TV. Okay, there it is. It's on the side. It says follow us. I didn't realize. I feel like I haven't really looked at these Galnet skins too closely for the most part, but it's actually kind of cool now that I look at it a bit closer. But I do think obviously the Rattlesnake is easily one of the most popular, if not the most popular pirate battleship in the game, mostly because of its PvE potential. Next one is the Stiletto. Now, I really like the Minmatar ships. When it comes to skins, it's really lacking, mostly because a lot of the Minmatar ships have these big solar panel, duct tape fins that they have, aluminum foil fins that they have coming out. And that does take up a lot of just surface area on the ship. And I realize CCP there's probably some sort of issue where they can't actually color these, or maybe the parts that actually attach the ship to the fins. So usually when you look at some of these, and we'll look at one a little bit later, is that when, you know, most Minmatar ship skins, it only covers about like 50% of the ship, like if that. As you can see here, this is still dark, and really only this small part of the ship is actually being with the skin. And I think because everything is so small, it doesn't show the CCP TV, it doesn't say follow us. Maybe it does, and again, I wish I could zoom in closer, but I can't just because this is, okay, so it does say follow us here on the sides. It's very small. But I don't see where it says, okay, so it does say CCP TV right here in the back. Like I said, it's very small. I wish I could zoom in closer, but I can't. I really wish there was more settings, or at least options to look at the ship in this type of mode. So Stiletto is a little underwhelming, but that's kind of how it is for all the skins for the Stiletto. Now the Stratios is going to be popular as well, even though I do think the Astero is the most popular one. It would have been really cool to have this little effect that's inside of this circle also be pink as well, or maybe it's like changing colors between whatever this is and pink or white or something. But it still looks really cool. There's the play button as well. This one will obviously be a little bit more expensive. Maybe I'll do my kind of predictions at the very end of like which ships are going to be the most expensive versus like the cheapest. Now, ever since I noticed the CCP TV thing, I feel like I'm going to be looking for that now, but I don't see it on here. Again, maybe if I took more time to look at it, I'd be able to find it. I would imagine it's towards the back here. Yeah, there it is. It's very subtle, but it says CCP TV and the follow us actually has like a little effect that pops out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's very, very subtle. I kind of hope CCP makes that stuff a little bit more pronounced. I mean, overall, I would say as much as people complain about CCP and all the things that they've delayed or changed or they haven't updated in a long time. I mean, the art team has always been spot on, and I feel like there's been nothing but praise for them, and I'm going to kind of extend that here. So here's the Vargur. Again, because of those big panels, only like 50% of the ship, if that, is actually kind of like customized based on the skin. So there it is. This is the follow us. It's way more pronounced on here, maybe just because it has that black background versus the white on the Stratios, but that little follow us like sign seems to be a bit more pronounced than the other one. But yeah, the Vargur looks nice. There are quite a few skins for the Vargur for the most part. Yeah, this is almost like too pink, and actually you can see they colored the whole thing, including the solar panels, including everything. I don't know if I like this particularly because it's almost like too pink, and then the Galnet is just on these parts, and they kind of left that alone. So that's kind of an interesting design choice for the most part. So I would like to see skins for ships that have less skins available for them. Obviously, I know CCP runs analytics. They know what are the most popular ships, what are the most used, and if people buy skin, I mean, I literally had people in my corp get skins from those like little login rewards that you get, and people literally start scaling into, or they start buying ships that they get skins for. They're like, well, this skin looks awesome, I'm gonna start scaling into the Absolution or the Loki or whatever it is. And people that weren't skilled into those ships before, but because they got a cool skin, they're gonna do it now. And of course the trusty little venture. So not too sure, this will probably won't go for too much. I feel like people obviously, I mean, once you get to a certain point, even if you're just Omega, you're probably never flying the ship again, unless you're doing gas huffing. Then at that point you're probably using barges or exhumers at that point anyway, if you're like gas huffing. So unfortunately, I do think this won't go for too much unless you're doing some like PvP meme fleets or something like that, for the most part. So I do think this will be one of the cheaper ones. So yeah, it does look like they've actually more than doubled the amount of skins that they have now, because it seems like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So they've actually added about 15 new skins. It seems, when before I think they only had like 10 or 12. Which is pretty nice. But I think easily the most expensive one out of this entire list will likely be the Rattlesnake, probably followed by like the Vargur, and then I'm not sure about the others. Hulk will probably be pretty pricey too as well, even though there's not a ton of people that do mining in Hulks, because I mean, mining in a Hulk in high sec is just asking to get ganked. It's probably going to be mostly the no sec people that are going to be buying Hulks. But I think the other ones like the Jackdaw, the Munin, are going to do pretty well. Stratios will do fine as well. But I do think some of the cheapest ones is more than likely going to be like the Venture, maybe even the Stiletto, just because the effect on it is so small. Maybe even some of the T1 ships as well, like the X-Cure isn't used that much, so unlikely that. I think the Gnosis will do fine as well. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to do a relatively quick overview of the ship skins in case you guys were curious, and now you guys know. It's on the CC server, so you guys can check it out for yourself as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys take care, and I'll catch you next time.